members of the military. There have been questions around human rights abuses of different forms. If you remember the recent one by the military in Okwama, that was one issue that got a lot of people talking. Of course, you'd also bear in mind that lives of soldiers were taken in that particular encounter. So far, how well have we done? What have we been able to attain? Are the oil installations safer? Are the communities cleaner? Are people in those communities safer, knowing that, well, these individuals, these outfits are here to ensure that the gold of the region is secure? Well, this morning I'll be speaking with two fine gentlemen who will be giving us diverse perspectives into what really the situation is like within the region as it concerns oil theft and the fight against oil theft. One first is a lawyer, Mr. Robinson Ariyo, joining us this morning via phone. Mr. Robinson, good morning. I'm pretty sure you can hear us.
Robinson Ariyo, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. And also, we have on the show with us this morning as well, Micah Polo as a security expert. So you're welcome, and thank you for making out time to be with us on the show today.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Happy New Year, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Wish you the same. Let's get into it. I would like to start first with you, Mr. Ariyo.
Yes.
Reports online have highlighted plethora of cases, human rights abuse cases. Many fingers have been pointing towards the direction of the private security outfit Tantita that is saddled with the responsibility of securing oil installations within the region. I'd like you to first give us an idea. How effective is the work that they do with regards to oil, securing oil installations within the region?
Well, to put my response in perspective, it may be important for us to remember the background of the driver of the Tantita Security Services. Now, we all recall, like you said in your introduction, that Government of Polo, aka Polo, was the leader of men, and they were involved in an activity that dovetailed into the current PAC, that's post-amnesty program. Now, an amnesty program is a program that is designed to reach out to persons who otherwise would have been prosecuted for offenses which they had committed. But in exchange for rehabilitation, they do the following, which we refer to in conflict management as DDRR. That is disarmament, demobilization, rehabilitation, and reintegration. And so, if you understand the background of the man, then you will understand his disposition, because we are all products of our background. And so, you find that the person that everybody is protesting against in this whole activity is coming from a background of militancy. And you and I know that despite the fact that trillions of naira of taxpayers' money has been pumped into the amnesty program, that the so-called ex-militants are not ex-militants. The program has not been very effective in the area of rehabilitation and reintegration. We all know that huge quantum of arms was surrendered to the army. But one thing that the Nigerian government has not done is monitoring and evaluating the quantum of arms that were not surrendered to the Nigerian army. Now, one of the biggest libraries in the world today, everybody knows, is the internet. If you Google this, you will see in Wikipedia that part of those things that were surrendered to the army included military uniforms. Now, you also said in the course of your introduction that about 18 police officers, about 18 military officers were killed in that event that you referred to. Now, that gives you a picture that sets the tone of what is happening in the Niger Delta region, where private citizens are able to overpower highly trained military officers not only overpowering them, but killing them. The simple logic you will deduce from that is that there are superior firearms in the hands of private citizens. Now, having said that, the question is how effective has been this securing of our pipeline. These are the activities of Tantita. Yes, you might see that there has been a kind of relative reduction. And that is because what you find is that people who were initially involved in illegal oil bunkering are now being paid, are now being incentivized to protect the pipeline. Okay?
So in other words, you're suggesting that some of the people who work in these private security outfits were themselves the legal oil bunkers and themselves those
Absolutely. You know, because you see, the knowledge of the terrain is, you can imagine by deductive logic, is more on the side of those people who are living in the area. They are not familiar with the terrain. And let me tell you something for take home. There is no way anybody can come into an environment and steal anything from that environment without the acquiescence, conspiracy, or assistance of those in the environment. So if we were to go back and look at the data, the quantum of crude oil that has been stolen over the years, let's say 3 decades, and you put it on the table, and based on the logic that I have just alluded to, you will agree with me that there has been substantial conspiracy. Because, let me tell you something, it's impossible to steal the quantum of crude oil that we are talking about without visibility.
All right, Mr. Ariyo, let's take a pause there and move over to Major Micah Polo. Mr. Polo, I'm sure you've been following and you listened to some of the things that Mr. Ariyo said. My question now to you would be engaging the services of a private security outfit run by individuals who have, well, whether we like it or not, some questionable foundation, like my guest has also highlighted. At what point do we become concerned that, well, this might move away from trying to ensure the stability of the region with regards to securing oil installation to becoming a private entity that could become a problem to the constitutionally set up security outfit of the country?
Thank you. First of all, like Chief just mentioned here about the reputation of the individual we're talking about right now, he has not built a good reputation for himself for a long time now. I believe that he has been having court case in Nigeria for a while as well, been looked for as well. The problem with giving power, financial and otherwise, to individuals like that is you embodying them, you're making them more bold to do their criminalities, using the government as an excuse that they defense more like. Now, you're in a region that is not very, very known by a lot of people in the country, and this individual take advantage of it, or as many other individuals, criminal individuals would do, not just singling him out. So yes, it's a problem for the communities around that region. Even with his own tribes, they're having problems with him, and you have to consider other tribes there. You have the Shekis, you have the Elijahs there as well, that are not happy with the situation. So it can lead to even tribal conflict.
Prior to this time, there were also some conflicts or disagreements amongst several ex-agitators outside within the region, from Bayelsa State, from Rivers State, over that particular contract. My question now is, the Nigerian government, we've already seen back and forth between private security outfits and the Navy over who is aiding and abating oil theft within the region and so on and so forth. Is there a better way through which this could have been done using the Nigerian military?
Well, but of course, yes. Nigeria army is one of the best army in Africa. I would say in sub-Saharan Africa, it is the best, arguably. The Navy is only, would only suffer in comparison to the South African Navy, maybe, you see. So we have the military well equipped to do this job. So I'm not saying that we don't use private security to help out, but that is what they should do. Help out, not be the main focal point our of securing or protecting our pipeline facilities. You see, so the military is more than capable. It is one of the best in Africa. So yes, we should focus on them and trust them for their abilities.
So now then, is there questions that we need to ask? Because within even the military, specifically now, say the Navy, accusations have been that the reason why the business of oil theft has continued to thrive would be because we have some of the big wigs involving in the act. And this was something that was even blown up by Polo himself when he said accosted the vessel that was containing crude, refined crude that's been shipped off the shores of this country. How do we reconcile that?
Well, okay.
Go on. All right, I think we're having interruption there with the service provider. But meanwhile, on Facebook, we are live. If you can. Hello, Mr. Polo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So I said, how can we reconcile that? What would you say about that situation, those allegations and accusations? Yes, we would come to the human rights allegations that are enormous, but then the fact that the allegations are directed even towards the military, who you said should be the focal point and not the private security outfits. The focal point should be the Navy, which, by the way, put out a scorecard of their performance of the Operation Delta Safe and how well they were able to recover stolen crude and how they were also able to dislodge those involved in oil theft. That was in the year just concluded. We have a short commercial already. As soon as we return, we'll come back and continue with you, and you tell us what you think can be done differently and what we're not doing right to ensure that, yes, we get those within the military that are aiding and abating this crime to be flushed out. And also, to Mr. Ariyo, we would find out from you what the situation is with regards to human rights abuses. It's been plenty of cases. If you go online, there are several people talking about how they can't even go about their businesses in the bushes, can't go to the farms peacefully just because of these security outfits who say they are protecting oil installations. All of these and more immediately after the commercial. Stay on the line for us.
Nigeria Info. We'll be right back. Info.
All right, the time is 8:08. Good morning. My name is Ifeimi Andrew. The conversation continues, and still with us on the show this morning are two fine gentlemen. Robinson Ariyo is a lawyer. Beyond being a lawyer, he is also a chairman. All right, Mr. For the campaign against stockpiling of firearms by private actors. And we also have with us Major Polo, who is a security expert, who will be joining us on the show as we continue the second half of this conversation. Gentlemen, I'm pretty sure you can hear us clearly. We've been having slight issues with the service providers, but I think it's stable now. Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Gentlemen, just to confirm that you can hear us clearly before we go on.
I'm Chief Ariyo. I can hear you very clearly.
All right, Chief, then. Thank you very much. Let me go back to Major Micah Polo and just get him to conclude on the last question just before we went on the break. Chief had confirmed that, well, to some degree, you can see that the collaboration between private security and the Nigerian military to tackle the problem of oil theft has yielded a little bit of positivity, even though he's not very comfortable entirely with the process of it. We've also seen the accusations that have come out since this collaboration where the private security outfit has said, well, the Navy and some people in the Navy are aiding and abating this crime. Well, the Navy had said it will not be blackmailed. A statement that was put out by the military with regard to that. My question now is, where do we go from here, where we achieve that situation you earlier talked about having the military as the focal point and not a private security outfit? How and what do we need to do to get that right, if we must get it right?
Well, is that question for me?
Yes, Mr. Micah, that's for you.
No. Okay, that's for Micah. I'm Chief Ariyo.
Okay, I don't know if Mr. Micah can hear me because the question was actually meant for him. Hello, Mr. Micah, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
So you got the question, I guess. We were saying, how do we go about getting the military to be the focal point in the fight against oil theft and not a private security outfit, especially in this region? Yes, we see the military roll out several operations, and most recently I was talking about the Operation Delta Safe, amongst many others, and how they've also ruled out the gains that they've made in the course of the year. But when we look at the entirety of this situation, many are not comfortable with the fact that we have a privately run security outfit taking the center stage. What needs to be done to get this back fully in the hands of the Nigerian military?
Well, so you mentioned something about people accusing the military before they break.
Yes.
Just now.
Yes.
And I would say, ask the question that is quite popular. Whose report would you believe? Would you believe the report of the military or the report of some well-reputable terrorist group in Nigeria for quite a while? I think the military just needs the trust of the government. I believe in the Nigerian military. They are more than capable of doing it. It depends on the government if the government are willing to give them the responsibility. And of course, with the support of the private security, I'm not trying to rule them totally out. But my problem is be careful of the reputation of the person you're bringing in as private security, of course. So yes, I'm not ruling them out. Just pick the right people. And yeah, the military should be the main point. And the government, it all depends on the government. It's obviously government policies, isn't it?
Chief Ariyo, online, you had raised alarm over allegations of stockpiling of small, medium, and heavy firearms. You were raising these allegations against Tantita security outfit. First of all, had there other privately run security outfits in the region that you know that are also working with the Nigerian military to secure oil installations? We know that we have several ex-agitators who were not comfortable with the deal at the time when the contract was given to Polo.
We have several other security operatives in the region. And in addition to that, we have the communities themselves. A lot of the communities, those residents in the community, are not happy about the continuous vandalization of pipeline because it has environmental effects, long-term environmental effects. I, for instance, am from an oil-producing area. Part of what I do on my own as a law-abiding citizen is to advocate against the vandalization, is to advocate against the theft of crude oil. So it is actually a multi-track approach. It's a people participatory approach. And this your question dovetails into the former question you asked, which is how can we ensure an effective collaboration between the security operatives and the military? I want to say this. Let us put on the left-hand side a man who does not have university education at all, no form of training in security. And the only thing we understand, his background is training, is militancy. Then put on the right hand the military, made up of men that like now spend a lot of money into to train, who are specially skilled to do the business. Okay? Now, would you like to have such a person, such a team, take charge with the collaboration of the others? Yes, you will. And the involvement of the community people. And whenever power is given to any person or organization, it must necessarily be checked. Why do we have three arms of government? We have three arms of government because power should not be absolute.
So in other words, you are concerned that nobody is checking the activities of the private security outfits?
Also, let me give an example. You see, I have first-hand information of the captives by Tantita, who have told me that there are cells. He maintains a private security operation, maintains a cell in which there are several people, more than 30 people are there as we speak. They are being kept there.
Why?
At the detail, the width and capacity.
You say you have these reports. Did you also secure reports as to why those people are held there?
Good. Let me tell you something. The reason why we have three arms of government is that a person does not accuse somebody of a thing, try the person, and sentence the person. Even Mr. President cannot try anybody. Mr. President is the head of the executive arm of government. His business is to execute the decision of the judiciary, and the business of the legislative arm is to make law. Okay? So, for whatever reason, any person who has been accused of committing a crime, the Constitution said that the person is presumed innocent until tried and proven guilty. Okay? And there is an arm of government that is responsible for doing that. And after that arm of government has done that, that arm of government does not also execute the judgment. It goes to the executive arm for execution. Now, every private citizen has a right to arrest. But the law says that when you arrest, you take the person immediately to the police. Under no circumstance whatsoever, no permutation can allow a private citizen to pick up somebody under any allegation whatsoever, keep the person for 2-3 months. It's absolutely wrong. So, we without even trying to understand what it has done. It is not the business of Tantita to arrest a person on any allegation. Detain the person for 2 months. Get the person to do manual job. We are not living for crying out loud. We are not living in
Chief, we have to go to the phone lines and take a few calls because there are several people I'm sure that would have plenty of questions and contributions to make. But one thing I'll quickly want to put out, perhaps I need you to respond to, would be, you said that there are several other private security outfits also saddled with the responsibility of securing the oil installations in the region.
I never heard any complaint about those.
Are they working independently, or were they subcontractors like under Tantita, or do they have, who runs those ones? Do you have information about how those other privately run ones?
Is that there are a couple of other security operatives. I know of one CNL or so. Now, the difference between this and the other security operatives is that when you look at those heading those other security operatives, you will see persons who have been found worthy both in learning and in character to be conferred with a degree. In other words, you will see that there is serious and suitable educational background. Some people did not go to any form of school. And you see, going to school is one thing, and being found worthy both in learning and in character to be conferred with a degree is another thing. So the government should look properly. You wouldn't say because a man can ride a bicycle and is making a lot of noise that he should fly a jet in which you are to travel from Lagos to Abuja. You won't say that, would you? The other is no. If you won't say that, if you have to give a job like that to somebody, wouldn't you call for CVs? Wouldn't you look at the credentials of the person? Wouldn't you look at their training? Wouldn't you ensure that their training suits the job you want to give to them?
All right, Chief. Let's take a few calls at this point and hear what the listener has to say. On Facebook, we are streaming live at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Now, the question we're asking you, the listener, is whether you believe the allegations that some members of these privately run security outfits, Tantita being one of them, and some members of the military are contributing or aiding the business of oil theft. Accusations have been flying back and forth over the years. Let's get your contributions and what you think about this. 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0003. Again, 0817-923-0007 and 0817-923-0003. All right, on Facebook, Godwin Agwanwa says, to you and your guests, concerning this matter, I don't believe these allegations. What we can say is that sometimes they aid the people that carry out these illegal activities when they are settled, but they are not the major contributors of this problem, but they do the bids of those who are the major problem. Godwin from Alakaya, a political figure in Nigeria, to be precise, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the last election had said in one of the interviews that, well, top government officials are the ones that have what it takes to perpetrate the act of stealing crude and selling it off to neighboring countries in the magnitude in which it's been done. It will take people in power and with a lot of resources. Thank God Ability says it's only those that walk at night that knows the odor of the spirit. Dorcas says absolute power corrupts. For me, this is what the problem is. To the phone lines now. Promise in Gokana. Let's start with you. Good morning, Promise.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Go on, please.
Yeah, the issue of oil theft in Nigeria and the use of private security to mount the facilities, I think has not actually contributed the desired results. First, the challenge we're having is as a result of the failure of government to provide adequate security to its citizens and facilities. How do you expect that in a country like Nigeria, an individual begin to get more powerful than the government. When the government has all it takes, all the tools, to ensure that we have security. So it means the government has compromised. And so the reason why they have to engage the private security is just to shift responsibility. Let's not look at it, they don't have the capacity to mount because they compromise. And if you are coming from this part of the state where we are coming from, where we have oil facilities, you will agree with us that what they are doing is pure business. The private security and the military personnel are in partnership doing this business. Except that now they do it in a very private and coded way that does not raise much noise. But they are into business. They divert the crude, make some money, and when you don't consult them and you go into the oil theft, those are the ones you see embodying their trucks. So for you to go into concrete, you have to partner with these people so you can make your money and share with them. So it does not actually help the country. It's basically business they are doing.
All right, thank you, Promise. Paul in Port Harcourt, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Go on, Paul.
Yes. I just want to speak about what the chief talked about. Everything he talked about is the truth. Because I'm aware of some communities in Delta State, especially Warri North, where some villages and some communities was attacked by Tantita, and people were arrested by them and detained. It was just how many days ago that they were freed after so many consultations before they were freed. That I'm aware of. I'm also aware that a barrister Ariyo, accused Tantita of accumulating weapons, light and heavy weapons. He's on air. So this allegation should be looked into by the federal government before it becomes something else in the Niger Delta. Somebody cannot be accumulating arms. What do you want to use the arms for? Is he a military person? Please, they should checkmate Tantita before it gets out of hand. The earlier, the better.
All right, Paul, thank you. Muriel in Okrika. Muriel, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
All right, Muriel, let's hear you.
Let's hear me. The folks are listening to this country. To know that even the government policy that is so large, larger than this people who are taking this grant, cannot forget. They went to the extent of employing the services of the...
Muriel, unfortunately, we can't hear you clearly. I think you are mobile at the moment. If you're on transit, you would have to call us later because we really can't get what you're saying. I believe you're on transit, Muriel. Please do well to call back or use the WhatsApp portal. Or better still, go on Facebook, send us a message. Christian in Port Harcourt, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Okay, actually, my own contribution is on these communities where this oil is deposited. Things are not actually moving right in Nigeria because there is absolute injustice. If you travel out, I think I've traveled out. If you go where oil is being explored, you see that the communities are priorities first and foremost, both in development, in human capital development, and also the environment. But you see a country where the people that are managing these resources stay far away in Abuja, and they abandon the places where these oils are being produced. They see the places as farms. So why they explore, just like what is happening before the colonial master did, before what happened then, where they just come and take Africa or take Nigeria as farms. So they explore, they take away and go and enjoy and come again. So, but these human beings that are actually, who God has actually brought up from these places, are human beings. They have flesh and blood. And the law of justice is on them. So by the time we now begin to emphasize on only oil, we call it oil theft, it becomes a name that one can look at and see that maybe it looks like someone is stealing. You could see that apart from the collaboration with the military and the police and all the rest of them, it is on the people also that are also suffering. So many of the youths, they don't have anything to do. their environment is being polluted, their fishes and their animals are dying every day as a result. Their air is being polluted because of distillation. And then at the end of the day, someone will now call a name and call it a program, oil theft, without considering the people, without considering the environment, and this thing is happening on and on. That is why, whether we like it or not, it seems that it's not going to end, because there are so many injustices surrounded into it. So when we celebrate maybe the increase of oil, which I think an MPC came out yesterday, without considering people, I come from oil developing environment where the resources, in my father's place, I have like 32 oil wells. In my mother's place, I have like 18 oil wells. But I've never benefited nothing from there. And apart from that, the only thing I've benefited is that the last 2 months, this Tantita, what you call it, this outfit, they came with a copter in my environment. I come from Ebema. And they killed a pregnant woman with her husband doing just farming. They are not into oil bunkering. They are very, very poor. They went to their farm to go and take what they are
All right, Christian, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we have to move on. We don't have a lot of time. Thank you for your contribution. Justice from Omujaga, unfortunately, time will not permit us to take your contribution. Something that was just said now by Christian, we need to verify. Let's quickly get to Barrister Ariyo. The caller said something about helicopters. Do they have helicopters?
Well, I'm not aware if they do have helicopters. But
Okay.
I'm aware that they have arms and they have sophisticated gunboats, with which they operate.
All right. Let's get back to Major Polo as we attempt to wrap up. We'll get final words from him. Major Polo, you've been listening. You've heard some of the callers. At this point, should the Nigerian military have concerns? Should the Nigerian government be concerned that, well, this could, although the intentions were good, is it possible that it could turn out to be a problem sometime in the future? And if so, what's the step to take to address it now?
Not just the government. I think the people, the citizens, should be concerned. Because after this contract, after everything is over, those weapons that they're acquiring, what will they do with them? How would it end? Will the government take it back from them? Do the government trust that they will bring all the weapons? And if they don't deliver all the weapons back, what will they do with it? Are we going to have a country full of weapons in the riverine area? When they are hungry, what do you think they will be tempted to do with these weapons? So yes, we should be really, really concerned. Not just the government, the people. It should be something that they need to they need to nip it in the bud right now, as soon as possible. Especially with someone with a reputation like that. Especially with someone like that. I think the government should make policies where the military are mainly in charge, with the support of reputable security firms,
All right.
private security, support them.
All right. Thank you very much, Major Micah Polo, for your time with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's quickly go over to Chief Ariyo, a legal practitioner. Sir, what would be your parting words in just under 1 minute?
Well, I think that there's an aspect of this whole triangle that we're not looking at, and that is the aspect of the oil companies and NNPC. Now, if we are able to track what is being produced, because what is happening in the country now is that we only know that there is oil theft when there is actually oil theft. How can you have a bank where you deposited 1 million naira and you don't know how much you deposited? It's the only way you see thieves stealing from it that you shout. One of the most effective ways of tracking theft is to know the production, the quantum of production, and to know the difference between what you are producing and what is left there at every interval. And so, NNPC and the international companies also, we need to point a torchlight at them. What is our storage capacity? The relationship between the storage and what is left will be able to enable us to determine what is missing. In addition to all these other security measures, we need to know what is there.
All right.
What are we producing daily? A meter has to be recorded.
Okay.
It is when you subtract what you are producing from what is that you know what has gone out.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ariyo. But we have to wrap it up here. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
In my life deserves breakfast. Brother me deserves all the nourishment he can get. Mama